Ooh, I'm excited for that. All the sharks.
This Netflix series is really good, so you have to see it.
Is it out already?
Hear from him. It is out. You can watch it now.
Okay.
We'll get into all of it soon.
Good to know. Thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. It's 6 a.m. I'm Evan Nurani.
And I'm Neda Irampour. Of course, we always want you to watch us here
Yes.
at CBS 8 right now. We have important information you need, like this beautiful forecast, Vanessa.
I mean, it's nice to forecast because it's easy, right? Evan and you guys both know what I'm talking about.
Sam, like, even though it's sunny, people still want to know. that it
Exactly.
is.
No, I totally agree, but I'm more than happy to be, again, just the messenger of the good news, because typically if it's raining, I'm the bearer of bad news, so I'm here for it. 6:01 is the time on your Taco Tuesday. We are looking at mostly cloudy skies along our most populated neighborhoods that stretch from the 5 all the way towards the 15 freeways. Some patchy clouds, excuse me, out right now in Ramona, and it's actually reducing visibility down to nearly a quarter of a mile there. So if you're just waking up and you live in Ramona right along the 78 or 67, you may want to leave time for travel. All right, here's a live look outside. We're looking at a mild start to the day. We'll talk more about temperatures, what you can expect as we continue with your work week. That's all ahead. And 6:01 is the time. Let's go ahead and see what's happening outside on our freeways. This is the 805 in both directions right at Home Avenue. There was brakes happening earlier. Looks like the speeds have increased, so that's good news for anyone headed out of the South Bay this morning. What's not so good news is if you use the 5, let's say you're coming in from Palm Avenue from IB or San Isidro, and you use the 5 north to head out of Chula Vista, you may run into some slowing. A crash just came in right at L Street. All right, let's go ahead and give you a wider view of your traffic map. Zooming on into the South Bay, we're now seeing a little bit of brake tapping once you get past that 15 connector all the way towards Mission Valley. Evan.
Thank you. We want to get to some national news this morning. New York City's mayor says the gunman who killed 4 people, including an NYPD officer, was targeting NFL headquarters but took the wrong elevator.
The Midtown Manhattan office building houses NFL HQ, and the league says one of their employees was seriously injured yesterday. A source telling CNN the suspect had a note that expressed grievances with the NFL and suggested football gave him the brain disease CTE. He played high school football here in California. Meantime, the police officer who was killed has now been identified. You see his picture there. 36-year-old Didarul Islam, an immigrant from Bangladesh.
He's a true blue New Yorker, not only in the uniform he wore, but in his spirit and energy of loving this city.
The suspect seen here identified as 27-year-old Shane Tamura from Las Vegas. Police say he drove cross country and entered the building armed with an M4 rifle and started shooting. Police say the suspect then took his own life. They say he had a history of mental health issues.
And back here locally this morning, the San Diego City Council is moving forward with parking meters near Balboa Park. They approved 300 new metered spots along 6th Avenue and Park Boulevard. They'll run $2.50 an hour for a maximum of 4 hours. Meantime, officials are still working on a proposal to charge for parking inside the park. Some residents who rely on these currently free spots say the city should focus on other ways to generate funds.
They should focus on maybe the people who are going through the stop signs without stopping, or drunk driving, or all the other various traffic infringements that are happening, but God forbid we have free parking.
These new meters will be installed in September with paid parking starting October 1st. City Council will also take up the issue of charging for parking inside Balboa Park sometime in September.
Later this afternoon, San Diego City Council set to consider a plan to turn this long vacant building downtown into affordable housing.
The building is the 101 Ash Street Tower. CBS 8's Regina Ureta joins us live from downtown. She has details on the proposal. Regina, this would be a big transformation from office spaces to affordable housing, right?
Yeah, definitely. And right now, that building right behind me, the controversial 101 Ash Street, continues and remains vacant as the city is still dealing with those maintenance fees. But they will be considering a proposal to turn it into affordable housing. They'll be having a discussion actually later today. But earlier this month, the Land Use and Housing Committee reviewed a 60-year lease for what would be a $250 million office to housing conversion. Now, the project will include 247 affordable units, retail space, and a child care center, funded mostly through state and federal tax credits. Housing would mainly apply to those earning between 30% and 80% of the area median income, or rather those at risk of becoming homeless. In the deal, the building is valued at almost $46 million, and the developer won't have to make payments until 15 years into the lease. Now, meanwhile, the city continues to deal with a series of lawsuits related to the building. That includes former workers who sued after being exposed to asbestos during the city's massive remodel. The price tag for 101 Ash Street also continues to rise. Every day, San Diego taxpayers shell out over $6,000, totaling $2.5 million a year to maintain the building. But back out here, we know that meeting will be taking place at 2 p.m. They will decide whether this proposal will get approved to turn this building into affordable housing. I'm in downtown. Regina Urita, CBS 8.
Regina, thank you very much for that. Today, the city of Carlsbad will consider adding those traffic circles in the Barrio neighborhood there. They would be at 5 intersections. You see them right there on this map. City says the goal is to improve safety, but some people say they can be confusing for pedestrians. Some are also concerned about the loss of parking. This meeting is at City Council chambers at 5 p.m.
And we've got Vanessa Paz back with us this morning on a cloudy start to our Tuesday. But I feel like what people who visit San Diego need to be reminded of is, like, I hear so many people walk out and be like, oh, it's going to be a cloudy day. No,
just
not the case, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's our natural air conditioner, right? Each time we start off the day, it's that marine layer, and it's extended all the way towards the inland valleys since yesterday, and will continue to do so as we push through the first half of the work week. Let's go ahead and start off with our surf report in case you are, let's say, visiting San Diego and you want to paddle out. Today, not too bad of a day to do so. We have a low rip current risk, and we're looking at pretty small waves, anywhere between 1 to about 2 feet or so. Low tide will be aimed just before 8 o'clock, and we'll inch towards high tide of about 4.5 feet just before 2:30 this afternoon. All right, here's another live look outside. This is from our Mount Soledad sky cam facing the pier. Again, very cloudy, and that's contributing to those cooler temperatures that we're waking up to. So if you're headed out, let's say to walk the dog, or maybe go for that morning jog, maybe you wear a light sweater or long sleeve. We're in the mid to low 60s in Oceanside, all the way down to about the South Bay. A lot cooler for spots like Ramona. Good morning to you folks waking up there. 56 right now in Julian, and we're already pushing into the low 70s for Borrego Springs. Here's a quick look at what we'll produce today across our microclimates, our most populated neighborhoods across the coastal and beach neighborhoods. We'll top out in the mid to high 70s. It's what I like to call the San Diego special, with the mostly sunny skies, but we could have clouds here or there. They'll be pretty few and far between. 85 today. Later on for Escondido will be about 5 degrees warmer for spots like Ramona, and we'll top out in the high 80s for spots like Julian, as well as Alpine near 110 in Borrego Springs. This area of high pressure is still to our east, way to our east, but it is causing or wreaking havoc for some states, including Arizona, parts of New Mexico. In fact, they are under flood watches, and then of course we have that dome of warm air that's triggering heat advisories to the south as well to the east. We have this area of low pressure storm system. Although it is way to our north, those two combined are contributing to mild conditions here in San Diego. All right, coming up a little later, we'll showcase your 7-day forecast along our microclimates, and also talk about what the rest of the week has in store. Let's go ahead and switch gears and take a look at what's happening on our freeways. Here's a live look outside on the 805 in both directions, right at Home Avenue. This is the northbound drive, so right as you make your way towards the 15 connector. We're so far so good out of Chula Vista this morning. Again, we are dealing with a little bit of fog in Ramona, so right along the 67 and 78. It may hinder travel for you as you head out the door, so perhaps you leave time for travel. We're still tracking this crash on the 5 North right at L Street. If you're traveling in from IB, San Isidro, and you use the 5, you may look out for that. It may cause a little bit of congestion through that pocket. Average speeds about 65, 70 miles per hour. So far, so good on the 5 and the 805. Same deal out of the East County this morning, and no major issues nor delays out of the North County. In from Oceanside, average speeds about 70 miles per hour on the 5, and on the 15 in from Escondido, you're averaging speeds of about 65 miles per hour. Here's a look at your travel times, 10 to 15 minutes right now. If you're headed northbound in from National City or Chula Vista, that is usual for this time of the morning. Full span of the Coronado Bridge in from downtown towards the toll booth, under 5 minutes at last check, and average speeds about 65, 70 miles per hour, 5 to 7 minutes right now on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at your border wait times. Not too bad at all, about an hour to get you inbound southbound from the San Ysidro Port of Entry. If you're traveling in from Otay Mesa, it'll take about an hour and a half at last check.